The Other Way to Listen, Sacred Wind Earth Teachings. A book written by Bird Baylor and Peter Parnell, adapted by Olivia Pollack. For all my relations, past, present, and future. I know a man who can walk by any field and hear the earth's stories. Teach me, I say when we pass on by. I never say a word while he is listening. Just tell me how you learned to hear those stories. And he says, it takes a lot of practice. You can't be in a hurry. And I say, I have the time. He's so good at listening. Once he heard the rocks inside an old cave murmur of fear felt by women and children in the year 1877. I was there. We were walking in a canyon where we knew the Northern Cheyenne had been, running for their lives from the cavalry. We got to the end of the canyon and there was a cave. We stayed there, still. A long time passed. Then he said, "Can you hear that?" They were very scared here. I said, "I don't hear a thing." He said, "Let's pray." We loaded a chanupa and invited his cousin and two of the strongest-hearted women I know. We smoked the sacred pipe inside the cave, spoke our words, and left. I went back to that cave with one of the strong-hearted women days later. She smiled widely as we walked in. "Can you hear the difference?" she asked me. "I'm not sure," I answered, but I felt comforted by her smile in that cave, and I knew that our listening had changed something I didn't yet understand. Another time, the man heard a drumbeat in an open field from 200 years ago. That's hard to do. We were standing by a battlefield tying prayer ties on an open-armed tree when he looked off into the distance towards the east. I was standing at his side with his cousin and another young woman. They looked off into the east too. I could tell by their stillness that they were all listening. I listened too. They asked each other knowingly, "You hear it?" And they each smiled in response. I asked, "Hear what?" And they told me of the drum ceremony they could hear inside the grasses. I thought there must be something wrong with me, because I only heard the wind and the horse hooves and the people nearby and the birds. Just the things that anyone could hear. I couldn't hear the drums in the fields. I couldn't hear rocks in the cave. I didn't understand. I said, "I wish that I could hear it too." The man said he thought I might someday. He explained, "Most people never hear those kind of things at all." I said, "I wonder why." He said, "They just don't take the time you need for something that important." I said, "I'll take the time, but first you have to teach me." "I'd like to if I could," he said, "but the thing is, you have to learn it from the birds and forests and hills and horses and buffalo and wolves and coyotes and rivers and bears and trees and things like that. They do the teaching around here." "Just give me a clue on how to start," I said.